Namaskar everyone, this is Shourabh back again with a brand new video. So in this video we are going to learn together how we can create custom errors and handle errors in Golang. So without talking too much, let's get started. Here I have already opened up my VS Code with its corresponding folder called day 17, where we need to initialize a new Golang project. And I assume you have already guessed what we need to execute. To initialize a new Golang project, we need to run the following command, which is go mod init. Let's call it the error package. Okay, it may be different for you, completely up to you. It depends, completely up to you. Right after that, you need to create another file called main.go, which is going to be responsible for executing and compile all of your file. And here, right after creating this file called main.go, we need to declare a package main, and right after declaring that package, you need to make a function called main. So I hope you guys are familiar with these steps. Now let's create another function which is going to be named as make request, and it will take a parameter value a, which is going to be a type integer, and it will return the integer itself and a error, assuming here as boolean. So this is a bare minimum concepts how we can handle the errors, but it's not the absolute way. We will learn it later in this video, obviously in this video. So let's compare it. If a is less than 5, then it's going to be a successful request. So in this case, it will return the integer itself, which is a, and then as it's a successful return, then it should be false, because this boolean is representing the error for this function. So as it's a successful request, then it should be false. In the case of error, it will return the data itself, and the error status should be true. So now let's make a variable called response and error. And why I have declared the variables like this, you will understand it in a while. So let's call the request function, and it's expecting a value which is integer. Let's make it 3. So if you hover over on this function, you can see that it's expecting an integer. We have already passed it, and it's actually returning us. It will return us integer and a boolean. So integer is going to be the value itself, and the boolean is going to be representing us as the error itself. So if the error is true, as you can see, in successful request the error will be false. In unsuccessful request, the error will be true. So if the error is true, then here you can see the error is boolean, the response is integer. Okay, so if it is true, then it's going to be fmt.println error happened. That's it. Otherwise it will print fmt.println the value itself, which is res. So as this 3 is less than 5, and here we are expecting when the a is less than 5, then it's going to be a successful statement. So let's have a look by running the application. Go run main. Here you can see it's 3. Now let's make it a little bit bigger, and here you can see it's going to give us error happened, but 13 as well. So how to handle it? So once the error is true, then right after executing the error part, then we are going to return it from here. So in this case, if the error is true, this statement is matched for errors, then it will execute the code, and it will later on, once it see that we have also declared here the return, then it will return the entire program from here. It won't be forwarded to execute the next line here. Okay, but once this is not true, it means the error is false, so this condition is not going to be true. Then it won't work, and this thing is going to be work. So if you run it again, so 30 will be missing, only this will work. This will be printed. Let's make it a little bit less than 5, and now you can see it's only giving us the 3. This is how error handling works. Now let's go and check how we can handle the errors. Let's come here and make it as generic. So let's see. If you don't know what are generics data types in Golang, then I would like you to visit my YouTube channel and search for it. You will be able to find it out, and I will also I'll also include the link of this playlist of entire Golang in this video's description. So it is going to be an integer, float, or float 60. Okay, we're not interested here right now, so we'll take care of it later. Let's say it's 3.8. So it was expecting a, which is integer, but we are giving it as floating number. So to anticipate it, we can use generics. So it's a convention to start the generic type name with single capital letter, especially T. It can be ABCD, whatever you want, but it's a convention to use T for type. And it's going to be the type of integer. We're bounding it with it, and float 32 and float 64. Now it's okay. And now let's replace this integer with T as well. So now it can also take a floating value as well. Here I can see it's giving us an error warning, so that if you just remove this part and check it that error, so it means by default it will check for the truthness of it. If it is true, then it will run it. You have learned a new thing about booleans here in this video. Now if you run it, you will see it's true, but if you run this, it's going to give us false. I mean error. Okay, it's going to be true and it's false, not false. It's going to be true and it's going to print it out here. Okay, and if you change the value to 1, which is less than 5, so it's going to be a successful request. Then it will return it the error status as false, so it's not going to be org, and it will be avoided by the code, the Golang program, as this statement is not matched. Then it will run this following line. I hope you understand. Now let's go and create a custom error type. To do that, let's declare the type and the struct name custom error, and it's a struct. It will contain status code, which is going to be an integer, and then it's going to have a field which is error message. The data type is string. Now we are going to declare a method of this following struct. Let's follow the convention, and the method name should be error, as we are expecting it to bind with the Golang error. Okay, so it will return, this method will return a string, and here let's return it with fmt.sprintf, which is going to format our string. The status code is e, which is c.status code, and the message is string. Okay, c.error message. That's okay. This printf is going to return a string, so it's going to return the string of this method, which is fulfilling the statement of this method. Okay. Now, okay, wrong type. I think it should be D instead of, yeah, it should be D. It's S. Oh, it should be lowercase s. Yeah, got it. Now, let's come here. It should be error. Error. Okay. Now, this error can also take nil. Okay, nil, none. In different languages, it's called in different names. In Golang, it's nil. So as we don't have any error in this case, this is success and this is false. Not false, it's error response. So in success, we are not going to return any error, so it's going to be nil. In the case of error, we are going to return the custom error type, which is going to take the status code of 500, let's say, and error message of not found. Okay, I have mistakenly, actually intentionally added this wrong message here. You can see now it's expecting something different, as it's not Boolean anymore. It's expecting, actually, if you hover over on the function, you can see that it's actually returning the integer value and then error. So this error is now error, not Boolean. So we cannot use it like this. So we can use check that statement is by this statement, which is if the error is not equal to nil. So if the error is not nil, then it means that error actually have something in it. So it's error basically. So we are going to follow it up and print out the error itself here. Why? Because this error actually returning this thing, the function itself, and the return type of this function is string itself. Okay, so if you run it now, you will see 1, but if you run 100.8, then you'll be able to see the status code is 500 and the message is not found. That's good. I hope it makes sense. Now let's have a look here. I have told you that I have intentionally wrote this message not found, which is false. Usually the status code 500 is used to known as internal server error, but we are here to learn something, right? Not found. Let's make it not found. So we are going to convert that type of method in pointer. So in this case, let's have a look. If the c dot status code is equal to 500, then it's going to modify the error message forcefully directly from the RAM or memory, that replace it with internal server error. Okay, so now you can see that it's actually giving us an error because the method itself, the struct, was actually expecting the pointer, the address of its particular memory. Okay, so you can give it the reference of that memory. Yeah, that's it. Now you can see that the status code is 500, and here you can see not found was printing before, but it will now update as it will match the status code is 500, then it will update the message with internal server error. It's quite important to understand here. Now you can see it's replaced with internal server error. Okay, but if you go here with 400, then it won't modify the initial your given message. Now you can see it will print out your given error message not found. So you have learned that in methods or anywhere, if you want to edit something or modify, write something, then you can make use of the pointers and references. Otherwise, if you were just trying to read something from the RAM or memory, don't actually use the pointers or references. It may backfire you. Okay, now let's learn another thing. Here you can see it's looking like this. We have something called comparable. Okay, now let's remove this code entirely from here. This comparable, if you hover over on it, you can see that this comparable actually takes the values or types that are actually comparable, okay, including these numbers, strings, pointers, and channels, arrays, and so on. So we have something called reflect, which you need to import from a standard library. It comes out of the box with not out of the box, it comes with Golang itself. It's included in its standard library. We can make use of it to find out the type of a particular value. So let's declare a variable here, named value type. Here let's import reflect. Here you can see reflect is imported from standard package, and it has the type of function. You can learn it more on their official package, the standard library. You can obviously go there and research it by your own, and it will take the value itself, which is in our case a, to get the type of this value. And let's run the function kind. So it's going to return it as the reflect kind. So we have already used if-else statements. So in this case, we can use if the value type is going to be equal to reflect dot float 64, then it's going to return that a, and there is no error. Else if it's a second statement, the value type, if it's going to be reflect dot float 32, then it's also going to be returned without any error. Let's check for else if the value type is going to be reflect dot integer, else it should be else, my typo here, else, and then it should be returned without any error. And for the strings as well, else if the value type, it's equal to reflect type of a string. If it's a string, then it should also return the same thing without an error, but expect it without any other statements after this is going to be handled by this else scope, which is going to be returned as an error. So in this case, return this as nil. Let's give it as the value itself a, but the error is not going to be nil. In this case, we are going to return the custom error, which is a which is also going to be include the reference type, because the method is expecting the pointer of that struct. Okay, so it has the status code, which is going to be 401, maybe unauthorized or bad user input, something like that. Let's declare the error message bad value type. Yeah, sorry for the background noises. Now let's have a look. It's 100, which is going to be here. It's going to be true one of these cases, so it's not going to be returned as an error. You can test it out. Here you can see 100. If you turn it as a integer or a string, like my name, so it's a string, then you can see Shorov is printing it out. That's quite okay. Now let's throw the value as an integer, a slice 1 2 3 1 2. So here you can see the integer does not satisfy. Okay, this slice is not satisfied here. Okay, the slice is not satisfied here. So anything else is not going to be satisfied. So here we don't have any pointers, comparable arrays, structs. The slices are not here. Let's give it as the array. The value should be 2. Here you can see it's accepted now, but it will return false, because in the case of success, these are the success statement cases. Here we don't we are not accepting any arrays here. So array will be considered in this statement, and it will return the error. So now you will see that the status code is 401. The message is bad value type. If you change it with 500, then it will give us the error code 500, and the error message is internal server error. As we have already checked before throwing it, that 500, if the 500 is the status code is 500, then it will update the error message with internal server error, and it will return it. So that was it. It was the basics and ins and outs of error handling, but I guess we have already know and implemented the if-else functions here, but let's convert it with switch and cases. To do that, we can always use switch and cases, where the expression should be the value type, and these are going to be the cases. Okay, so yeah, that is it. In this case, this is going to be return, then the case should be another thing, reflect this. In the case of 32, it's going to be also success, reflect dot integer. It's going to be success as well. Let's copy it. And in the case of a string, it's going to be successful, but we have a default, I guess. Default, if these are not the case, then it will return a default type, which is going to be this error. Okay, oops, my bad. Let's update it. I know it's a little bit lengthier, this video, but it's quite important. Now we have converted our if-else statement in switch and cases. Now if you run it, you will see the expected things again. See, and let's give it as running. It will be succeed. 1000 font 3, it's going to be succeed. Yeah, that was it. I hope you enjoyed this video. If you enjoyed this video, please do share this video with your friends. Make sure to hit the subscribe button, and make sure to like this video. Nothing else. If you have any questions, please feel free to comment it down. I will try to help you out. Thank you. Namaskar. Good night.